She had been invisible for so long that even her own shadow seemed unsure of her existence. She was a Greek servant girl, hands cracked and bleeding, eyes dulled by years of silence. For 3 years she had scrubbed floors no one remembered walking on, carried water no one thanked her for, and breathed air that did not belong to her. She had no name here, no voice, no future, only endurance. Until the day a child found her crying. The girl was no more than 7 years old, wrapped in silk that shimmered like morning light. Her eyes were bright and curious, like small birds discovering the world for the first time. "Why are you crying, lady?" the child asked. It was a simple question. It became an impossible promise. "My father is the Sultan," the girl said with complete certainty. "He will take care of you." Despina almost laughed. Protected by the most powerful man in the world? It was absurd. Yet destiny never asks permission, and heaven listens closely to the promises of children. Greece, 1512. The sun rested gently over a small coastal village like a blessing poured from heaven. The Aegean Sea stretched endlessly in the distance, deep blue and eternal, while the wind carried the scent of salt and olive trees scattered across the hills. White stone houses clung to the land, fishermen sang at dawn, and women wove not only cloth but memory itself into their looms. Despina was 18 years old. Her hands had known wool since she could walk. Her father, Nikolaos, was a master weaver, so skilled that his fabrics traveled as far as Athens and Constantinople. Her mother, Eleni, baked bread that filled their home with warmth every morning. The scent alone could convince a weary soul that life was good. And for a time, it was. Then winter came. Nikolaos fell ill, a cough that refused to leave, fever that burned through the nights. Physicians demanded coins they did not have, and debts crept in like shadows. An Ottoman merchant offered money for medicine, for food, for survival. Then he came to collect. Despina listened from the darkness as her parents whispered and wept. She watched her mother sell her grandmother's jewelry. She saw her proud father beg for time. The merchant did not want time. "He has another way," he said calmly. "The imperial palace needs servants. If your daughter goes, your debt is finished." Silence filled the room, heavy as stone. "Never," Nikolaos whispered. "Not my daughter." But Despina had already chosen. Before dawn touched the horizon, she dressed in her simplest clothes and wrote a letter with trembling hands. "Do not mourn me. I go so you may live. I love you always." She stood at her mother's doorway, memorizing her face in sleep, the gentle lines, the silver in her hair, the steady rhythm of her breathing. The scent of bread still lingered. She did not wake her. She could not. She kissed her father's brow and walked away. The road to the harbor was long and cold. Bare feet met stone. Dawn bit her skin. She did not cry. Not yet. The merchant waited, smiling. Papers were exchanged. "Your family is free." Free. That was enough. The ship carried her towards Constantinople. She sat among barrels and spices, watching Greece fade into the sea. Somewhere behind her, her mother would wake and scream her name. Despina felt it in her chest like fire. The journey lasted days. She spoke to no one. She ate little. She whispered one truth again and again. They are safe. That is all that matters. Constantinople rose before her like a dream of gold and stone. Domes pierced the sky, walls stretched endlessly. The Topkapi Palace swallowed her whole. Her clothes were taken, her hair cut. She was given gray fabric and a corner of stone to sleep on. "You have no name here," they told her. "You are nothing." That night she held her knees and whispered into the darkness, "I will survive." 3 years passed. 3 years of silence, of cold marble under her knees, of eyes lowered and voice erased. She learned the only rule that mattered. To survive, you must not exist. She arose before sunrise, carried freezing water, polished marble floors until they reflected the faces of women who never saw her. The harem shimmered with beauty and hid its cruelty well. Roses bloomed, fountains sang, silk and jewels concealed envy and venom. Despina moved like a ghost through forgotten corridors, working where no one wished to look. Loneliness became her closest companion. She remembered her mother's face less clearly each year. The sound of the loom faded. She clung to memory as if it were breath. Once a year, on her mother's birthday, the pain returned with force. That day, she hid in a forgotten corridor and let her tears fall in silence. "Mama, happy birthday." Then a voice broke the air. "Why are you crying, lady?" Despina looked up in terror. The girl stood before her, silk gleaming, eyes wide and curious. Despina threw herself to the floor, forehead pressed to stone. "Forgive me, Your Highness." A small hand touched her shoulder. "Why are you kneeling? The floor is cold." The girl smiled, pure, unguarded. "I'm Ayşe, and you?" Despina could not answer. "You don't have a name? That's strange. Everyone has a name. Even my cat does." Ayşe sat beside her without concern for her silk dress. "Why were you crying?" "It is my mother's birthday. She is far away." Ayşe listened carefully. "My father found me in a field of flowers. He says I'm his blessing. He never says no to me." She leaned closer. "My father is the Sultan. He will take care of you." Then she stood and ran off, leaving Despina trembling with disbelief. Weeks passed. Ayşe returned every day. She brought laughter, stories, questions, dates stolen from the kitchen. She spoke of cats named after clouds. She asked about Greece, about the sea, about bread and mothers and games. And Despina spoke. Slowly, cautiously, she remembered how to. The Sultan noticed. He listened from the shadows as Ayşe sang lullabies to his daughter, songs of distant shores and faithful love. He watched how Ayşe smiled, how peace returned to her sleep. When Selim finally summoned Despina, she expected death. Instead, he saw her dignity, her honesty, her sorrow. "You will serve my daughter," he said. Her life changed. She wore blue now. She had a room. She had purpose. But jealousy followed. Whispers grew sharper, threats closer. The Sultan's mother warned her, "You will burn. No one will save you." Then Selim did something unexpected. He freed her, gave her gold, gave her home. Despina returned to Greece and embraced her family, but her heart remained behind. So she returned, by choice. She cared for the Sultan's mother with patience until even bitterness softened. Ayşe reunited what destiny had been preparing, and love grew,
quiet, steady, undeniable. When Selim refused a political marriage, the palace trembled. When Selim chose Despina, history changed. Before all, he spoke. "My daughter promised I would protect this woman, and I will not break that promise." Despina became sultana, not by ambition, but by compassion. She ruled with mercy. She remembered hunger and cold. She built schools. She freed servants. And years later, as the sun set over Constantinople, she stood beside Selim and Ayşe in the garden. A cat mewed in Ayşe's arms. "This palace is full of cats," Selim said. "It is full of home," Despina replied.